Going on, guys and girls, peoples? We're live a little bit early. If you can't hear me or the connection's bad, let me know. I'm on StreamYard. This is the first time I'm on this new service. It's got some better potentials. Like I can bring up other people on the panel and things like that. So if you can see this and you're seeing me live, please drop me a comment. Let me know you can actually see this because this is all new to me. If you can see it, oh, okay. I see Aiden, Chad. All right, you guys see me? Am I live? Am I talking? Richard Jarvis, thanks for popping over. I just got off of Richard's live. Steven, awesome. I guess we're live. All right. So this is my first time using the StreamYard app, so I'm a little new to this, but we are doing the Tuesday night tips. We do this every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. It's a spot to come and hang out, chat about angling. Came up with the idea for new anglers especially. So if any new anglers are in the house or listening, ask questions. I want to make sure that the other anglers that are in the house that are maybe more seasoned will answer the questions. What's going on, Lyle? My older boy just came in. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Hopefully this goes well, and I'm just going to go through a few things, and then once I do that, I think I'm going to then go on to maybe bring up somebody else. Very nice.
It's impossible to read.
You can't read it in the light, but it says epic. That was a school gift for me. Let me read some comments before I get carried away here. All right, thanks, Aiden. Appreciate that. Aiden and I spent a cold day up the mountains, not necessarily together, but on the same body of water, having the same similar results. Still competing in the Sunfish King, and I think we are still holding on the first and second. I know I couldn't follow. I know I'm still in first mathematically. Kevin potentially could be tied for second now, I think. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on there. True Eco is in the house. We might be doing a collab very shortly, maybe this weekend together. So watch for that. Awesome channel. Michael Drones, thanks for coming down, buddy. Hover down, he says. Indiana Chris, what's going on? So yeah, Sunfish King is in week 6, so we're still doing that. Maybe week 7. It's coming near an end. I think 4 weeks left more to go. So yeah, it's been really fun and challenging, and it's amazing, how many fish are really out there in the winter, and especially like talking to Aiden, they're running boats with all the electronics on it. I'm kind of a little handicapped with my ribs, so I've been doing a lot of bank fishing and limited to getting around a little bit till now. And he said they were just marking fish all over the place, but they weren't biting, which, they got to be there. And I know Kevin goes out a lot of times in nets with his little net in the creeks and stuff. And it's amazing how many fish are down in the leaves. So when you look, you don't see anything. It's not like they just disappeared. They're just hiding out for the winter, and they are there. And occasionally they will bite, and you got to adjust techniques for it. But boy, it's nothing like summer. I mean, you're out there all day working really hard for just a couple bites. And I fished, for giving you an idea, Saturday and Sunday. Sun up to sundown both days, running spot to spot all day long. And I think we caught 2 sunfish under 5 inches, and I caught a baby brown trout that was like 5 inches. That was it. I mean, we were chasing the problem we're having now is we've caught so many species that we've caught all the easy species there are to catch near us, with the exception of a few. So it's going to just get harder and harder at this point. Yeah, Aiden said it was cold. It was a cold day. A video will be up Friday on that, hopefully, if all goes well. We actually went up to this big lake, and the winds were blowing, and it was below freezing and at sunup. So we took the heater, and I feel like I'm like cockeyed in this camera. I don't know. But I took the hunting tent up. We set that up. We had the heater going in there, and we cooked all day long. We cooked so much food because the fish just weren't biting. We just kept cooking, staying warm. Miss Queen, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Michael Drone said he's been fishing for 60 years, ever since I was 5 years old. That's right. Eco says in Aiden said he was in casting distance from us. Fish finder. I did not hear your fish finder. You know, where we were, it was weird. Like the water didn't look like it was blowing, but we had wind coming at us hard. And the game wardens came down, or conservation officers, I guess they're called, came down to make sure we had our licenses and all that stuff. And as they were walking down from the parking lot, they were like, "Why do you have a tent set up?" You know, and I was like, "Well, it's just to get out of the wind," and it was cold. He looked at us like he was crazy. And like by the time he got down there, he's like, "Oh, it is blowing down here, isn't it?" Like, "Oh yeah, it is." It's nasty. But the water itself wasn't too bad. So that like the casting and the drifting wasn't too bad. Just the fish weren't biting. Oh, I didn't scroll enough. Good Lord. John from Small Water Charters is in the house. Awesome, awesome channel right there. Awesome. He's down in Florida. He's a Florida guy. I think a Virginia boy originally. Don R., I saw him come through. I got a Catfish Bums in the house. Thanks, man. Doing good. How about yourself? I got to figure out how to put these comments on the screen so you guys can see that. Can you guys see the chat? I think you can, right? Let me know if you can see the chat. I want to make sure you can follow along the chat. Yeah, Eco, same way. I stick to some old-fashioned stuff, and I don't know if you can see this stuff down here. You know what? I'm going to bring it up. That's just my older boy skateboarding in the background for some reason. Probably going to break his arm.
I already did. I fell in the basement.
So I'm going through my tackle box here, and like I've got so much piles of lures here, and I'm just trying to figure out like what I carry basically. Or where's my camera? My gosh,
the camera fell off the earth.
So weird. So trout magnets, one of like my go-to. So I carry all different colors of trout magnets with the trout magnet head. And I like the little thingamabobber floats. Now, this is my creek setup, like when I'm just running for like sunfish, fall fish, creek chubs, maybe a trout, small, like 1 pound top, smallmouth bass, anything that I can get to play in the creek. Spinners. And I'm not showing you this because I think it's great. Kind of like to get your feedback on what you guys would throw. This is a Blue Fox Spinner Zero. One of my go-to lures is like the Zero Meps spinners, and maybe size up to a 1 depending on the water condition. These little jigs that I used to give away, like a little hair jig. I catch a lot of things on those. This might be specific to where we fish, but fake Hellgrammites. And we will catch a lot. Kevin will catch a lot of Hellgrammites when we're in the creek too, and he'll give me those to use, and they're hook up every time. And then I have a whole compartment of like miscellaneous hooks, which will be some for like Ned rigs, some for like tiny little things. And I like to have a big mix of hooks because you don't know what fish you're going to spot and want to try to catch, and or what bait you're going to use. And we'll catch crayfish, we'll catch Hellgrammites. But I have bags and bags of baits. I wish this camera works better. I want to hook the GoPro up and figure that out to use. But let me know what your go-tos are for like creek fishing. And I'll see if I have something like that in this pile and I can show it to you, verify it. And I got a whole nother side of my box you can help me fill. But typically I end up carrying way too much gear. It's out of control. And I always try to like get it down to this because I like the idea of carrying one rod and this and just going wherever I want with waders. But let's see. Yeah, fall fish is the Pennsylvania tarpon, Eco. They do fight really hard for their size. I don't know if you can. Yeah. Let me show you. I'm going to try to move the camera because I want to show you this fall fish that we caught a couple minutes from our house. This one right here. I mean, I don't know if that shows up on camera, but that thing's a monster. And I'll tell you, I don't know if we got that on video. Maybe I'll go look for that video tonight. But if you see that video, you will understand why they call it Pennsylvania tarpon, because they really, pound for pound, they fight better than a trout, and they take to the air right away too. The little guys obviously dealing with the little fish. Sorry, I got to adjust cords here. You want to do the joke?
No.
I don't remember the joke. You can do the joke if you want. Lyle wants to do his jokes here, and I can't remember them. Let's see. Do you want to highlight a comment? Just
I
click.
don't know.
Oh, got you, Richard. Richard said to highlight a comment, just click on the comment. Cool. You know, Catfish Bum says, I still love the old beetle spins. Growing up, I had an experience with those things, crappie fishing, where it was like insane, nonstop action. And that's all I used for that year. And ever since then, it's like, I don't know if I'm not using them right or what, or maybe I'm just not targeting the right species with them. But I'm just not, like, this was an overgrown pond with lots of like algae, and I was dropping it in spots and letting it free fall and jigging it. And once in a while, I'd, retrieve it. But there was just pockets. And oh my gosh, that was like my favorite bait. So yeah, let me look real quick, see if I have one handy. I wish Kevin was home, because I've got so many more boxes out in the other room, and I could just ask him to go look. And he's got his bags that are in the car still. Yeah, so like I'm missing like the spin part, but typically, well, let me pick that up before I step on it. It's something like this with the little, metal piece that goes up and it comes back, and it's got a couple blades on it. Yeah, I'll give that another try. Thanks, Catfish Bum. That's a good idea. I'll throw that in my arsenal. I know I got the little spinners somewhere. Let me see what else people are saying here. The best Fisher Creek so far. Yeah, Ika, that was a big one, man. I've never seen one that big. Yeah, I saw you catching them. Eco just put out a video of him catching those guys, and man, that was a tiny creek, so they weren't huge, obviously, but they're an amazing fish, and I think they're underrated. Really cool fish. They remind me of an aku up in Alaska, which is they also call them tarpon of Alaska, I think is one of the names. We call them she-fish. It's a big whitefish, but very similar. And it was funny, like I haven't eaten a fall fish, but that's one of the things I want to do. If I got a decent size, not a huge one, but like a nice one to harvest, I do want to try. People, say it's horrible, but then you ask them if they've eaten one. They go, oh no, I've never tried one, but I heard they're horrible. Well, in Alaska, I take she-fish over salmon any day of the week. But they're only in 3 rivers up there. We just happen to live on one for a while. Dwight's in the house. Thanks for coming in. Sorry if I'm missing anybody tonight. I'm on a whole new streaming thing, and I'm gonna, in a little bit, maybe at like 7:20 or so, I'm gonna try to figure out how to put the link out if anybody wants to come up and join me, and then we'll go crazy here. Leon, thanks for coming in. Leon Life. Let's see. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Let me see what else. I feel like the jerk baits is another good go-to in a creek. A little tiny jerk bait, especially this time of year, is a really good go-to. And I'm never organized, but this is out of control. And that's because we're doing multi-species challenge. Like we're targeting, I think we're up to like 17 species in this area in the last 6 weeks. So we're just going one species, and we catch one. Sometimes we just call it a day and go to another species. Like we get on the bass or whatever we're trying to catch that day. And so you catch a largemouth bass. you don't need another largemouth bass. You can't count anymore. So it's like you're done with that. And like we were catching Saturday, I don't want to spoil the video, but we were fishing for like fall fish we were trying to catch, failed, and realized like how close we were to the Susquehanna River. So we went down the Susquehanna River thinking smallies, and the guy next to us caught a 20-inch walleye. I'm like, all right, change it up. Then we were like re-rigging for walleye, throwing 1 ounce heads, looking through my saltwater gear. And so it's all in my car all the time because you don't know what fishing spot you're going to, run into or meet up somebody on the road that's like, hey, why don't you go over here? So you got to be prepared, and we carry it all with us. Let's see, who am I missing here? PNB Catfishing with Paul Boyd is in the house. Thanks for coming in. We're just going over what's the deal with jerk baits. Aiden said he hates jerk baits. I'm telling you, man, on the local creek, to me, it's like that dying motion of the fish. And this time of year when they're not feeding, I have trouble getting them to run right. Like some of them you have to like train a little bit. That does frustrate me. And sometimes I'd rather just like, I'm going to say a banjo minnow or any type of like fake rubber minnow that you can twitch and like, give it that, like I do like 1, 2, 3 pause and then 4 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I do that kind of cadence. And that works really good for me for like predatory fish like pickerel and bass and smallies and things like that. All right, Eco, thanks for coming in. We'll chat about this weekend. Awesome. Soft baits. What do you guys use for soft baits in a creek? And again, I'm not trying to tell you this is what you do because like I really believe to be a good angler, you have to know you don't know anything. You got to ask a lot of questions, always be willing to learn. I am a huge Ned rig guy. I found my first Ned rig like a year ago, and I heard everybody. And I don't try to be like what some might call bass with a B and then holes. I don't try to be like those people. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that's their own breed of fishermen, but you know what I mean, maybe. But I found a Ned rig, like I found it like laying on the ground. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know what it was. I casted it, immediately caught a fish. And I caught like 4 or 5 fish after not catching anything all night before that. So I went home and I was like, what the heck is this thing? Started researching and I was like, it's a Ned rig. And it was something I heard 20 times, but just dismissed it because it was like bass fishermen talking. But you better believe it. Gray Buck is my boy around. He's the local bass fishing pro around here. And he pushes the Z-Man products. So I wasn't going to overthink it. I went out and got the Z-Man products. I'm not sponsored. I'm not trying to be sponsored by them, but that's what I use. They're hard as nails. They last forever. And you get the, I'll show you the rig. You guys probably know what Ned rigs are, but let me show you. I can't figure this camera. That's the head of it. So let me rig up one real quick for you. I like it because you can cover a good amount of water and still get that finesse bite. I think that's probably the smartest thing I could say about it. Like you cover a good amount of water and still feel like you're finessing for a bite. Everything else is like you're really covering water or you're really finessing. I don't know if that's the way it is or that's just in my, I should show you this. So, all right. So you got the little Ned rig here. Okay. Stick this in here. Just keep pushing it up. Try to gauge where it should come out so that it comes up to just here and not too much further than it. So probably right about there. And it's got a little hook thing right there that'll keep this from sliding back. Not the best one, but you get the idea. So basically when you cast this out, it's going to come down. This camera's harder than it looks. I'm really not this challenged. Oh my God. So it'll come down like this. And then when you like retrieve it, I don't like reel in like this. I like lift it up. So it's going like this, kind of like that. And this thing doesn't take much and it'll just go like this. And sometimes I'll just kind of twitch it and try not to move it. And a lot of times, if I'm fishing a big like rock, I mean, we caught tons of like 2, 3, even 4 pound smallies last summer just by putting this under a big boulder and just like twitching, just so it doesn't move, but it just shakes. I really like that. So they put the hook back in because this one, I really depend on that one. So let me get that hook back where it belongs. We went out last night on the Perkiomen and it was snowing, it was blowing, and it was like 35 degrees. You guys might have seen the picture I posted of Kevin out there. And ridiculous. I can't believe you wanted to go out. We didn't catch nothing, but one of these nights they're going to be active. Aiden said Ned rigs work good at Paul. Is that Wallen Paul Pack? I fished up there a little bit. Who else we got in here? Anyone else? I missed some people. Boxcar Jerry, thanks for coming in. Boxcar Jerry saying hi, Fisher people. I don't know if you guys can share your links in here or not. I mean, fine by me if you do, if you're able to. I'll try to figure that out. Hey, Dan, thanks for coming in. He said an old Ukrainian guy swears by the Spinallure, or what another old timer called the Super Duper. All right, Dan. I'm trying to figure out if you're my dad, because my dad is all into the Super Duper lure. He's always trying to sell me on that. Let me see if I can find it. I've used it twice and I haven't caught anything. It looks like a piece of metal you found on like a machinist's floor, right? Like it doesn't look like a lure. I might have to walk out of the room for this one. I really want to find this one. Oh, hang on. Found some more Ned rig hooks though. I want those. Yeah, if you have a 9-year-old, you'll know what I mean with trying to stay organized. I even went out with that Super Duper one time. I heard it's good for trolling too. I went out and fished that thing for like 5 hours and didn't have any luck. But yeah, I may have hung it on a tree somewhere. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of other boxes it could be in though. Who knows? But yeah, I appreciate that, Dan. Thanks for the recommendation. Michael said I've caught flatheads 50, 60 pounds using whole bluegills. We caught a just under 5 pound smallmouth last summer. And it was chasing my bluegill. I caught a bluegill and was chasing it. So I took the bluegill, and we got video of that. I took the hook out of it. I literally just put it in, crossed the dorsal, cast it out under the rock. And I wish I had a better camera to capture it and do the editing, but it looked like a shark attack. Like at the first cast, I went and did nothing. The sunfish was like too lively and it just swam away. The second cast, this is a little brutal. The second cast, I slammed in there pretty hard and it like semi knocked itself out on the rock. And that's where I was saying with that, like that dead motion of jerk baits, that fish was like, just looked injured. And that thing came up and slammed it. And I was fishing with Kevin as always, but his neighbor friend, another 9-year-old boy who like this kid's first trip he went with us, we caught a 30-pound flatty that he got the reel in. The second trip with us, we caught the 5-pound smallie on that. So like he's always in the right position. This kid was there. And I'm like, I called the shot. I'm like, give me that sunfish. I'm like, I'm going to hook it. I'm going to throw it back in there. And he's looking at me like, you're crazy. And it came up and just slammed it right in front of him. Okay, all I have to do is go to invite people. Richard said, all you have to do is go to invite people. All right, invite people. So, copy. All right, I think I'm gonna, so I think I copied it, and then what do? Just paste it down in the comments section? Let's jump in. Let's jump in. I think you click on that maybe, and I'll be able to, if you want to come up and get on the live and chat, we try to keep this pretty kids friendly because a lot of kids do watch the channel. So please, if you come up, watch the language. And if you say something, don't be offended if I got to drop you off. All right. So Richard's down there. I'm going to click add to stream. Richard Jarvis, I think you're with us. You're now up top.
Hello, mate. How you doing, buddy?
Awesome, man. Awesome. Can everyone else hear Richard? That could be me. I don't know. Let me see.
How are you? You okay? Can you hear me or not?
I think I fixed my volume. I think that was me. I couldn't hear you, Richard. But
can you hear me now?
Awesome. Yeah, perfect, man. Thank you.
I'm only here just to say thank you very, very much coming into my lives, buddy. I appreciate you. You know that.
You got the best lives around. You know, you can tell by the people who come to your lives. They're like awesome guys with great channels and like real fishing channels. What I call, like, being a fishing guide. There's as crazy as they come, but like people like that are like that's the fishing folks.
No, you're awesome, mate. I don't care about my channel. I'm here to promote other channels, but your channel is absolutely the top notch. I love it to bits.
I'm very white here, so you're gonna make me blush real quick.
No. I'm just ashamed that I live in the UK and I cannot catch all your channels, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do, because it's what, like 1 o'clock over there?
Yeah, it's 20 past 12 now. Yeah. 20 past 12. Yeah. So
yeah,
honestly.
And I watch so many of the UK guys and their channels, and I follow so many of them that like I ended up starting to move my releases up because I know a lot of the UK guys are now following me. So I release videos at like noon to try to catch those guys before they're like on the bed, you know?
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it? It really is difficult.
It is tough.
No, I love it. And well, I keep repeating myself. I wish I could see more. I'm only here now because I'm on holiday. So I haven't got to go to bed. Just being 20 past 12, normally I'm tucked up in bed and, fast asleep, but it is really awesome to catch up with you lot. It really is.
Yeah, it was great. It's great you came up. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you coming on to mine earlier. I really do.
I will try to pop up on other people's lives more. A lot of times I'm at work when I'm like multitasking and I've got 3 screens up and trying to hold down a normal job. So like I might be able to like watch a channel and like participate in chat, but going on a screen with like my boss walks by, I'm going to be unemployed real quick.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. Hence why I don't do it during the day when you lot, sort of like midday-ish. You lot seem to wake up. I don't mean you lot. It's just my figure of speech. You all seem to wake up and start coming live, and I'm thinking, God damn, I'm still fast at work. I can't go on there.
That's what I think I started, like why I like fell in love with the UK channels selfishly. Like they all started rolling on at like noon and it was dark over there. And I'm like, oh, they're already there. And it made me think like I'm almost done work for the day because it's night over there already. You know, I'm watching them out live fishing. And it would like just get me pumped up to finish off my work day before I'd go out on the water.
Well, that's right. I mean, I wake up like at 6:30 in the morning. Like I come down after I move, wash and what have you. Click on the computer, and there they are. You're all going. You're all there having a little chit chat and what have you. But it's really late at night.
Yeah.
For you when I wake up, and a lot of your channels come on at like at my time 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, why are you still here? I mean, I'm just waking up ready to have a good time, and you're all going to bed.
Some
You're
of the,
still there.
the catfishing people like Pontoon Jody and that crowd,
Oh God.
they're
Yeah.
all night long. And like, I'll
Yeah.
wake up sometimes not being able to sleep, and I'll just flip it on real quick, and like they're out there,
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Pontoon
always
Jody.
holding,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
do
We
that.
got Kenny and whatever. Yeah, they're all there. They're all still going. I'm thinking, my God, how can I keep up with that?
Trout Slayer
What is
just
that?
popped in. What's
Thank
going
you,
on,
Richard
Trout
Jarvis, for sharing my link. I appreciate. Oh, well, that's not a problem.
Slayer? Yeah.
Not a problem at all.
Hey,
As he
Rick's in
knows,
that.
that's what I do. I'm a moderator. I share links.
Richard Jarvis is the best moderator I know. He's always selfishly sharing out links and keeping the trolls at bay, and just man, awesome dude, awesome channel. And like, even though he doesn't have like content, he's got a lot of lives and attracts the best people.
I
Awesome.
appreciate that. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah. Not tonight. I'm on your panel, so I'm not doing anything as a moderator tonight because I'm talking to you. Because I can't do nothing whilst I'm on StreamYard.
That's what I'm trying to get. This is the first time I've used it, so I'm trying to like, this is nice being able to bring up other people.
What I will say to you is that, have you still got YouTube open?
I do. Yep.
Yeah. So if you go into your YouTube now, right, and find the link you dropped, hit the 3 dots, it will pin it to the top of YouTube for you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So then you don't have to keep dropping that link. It will always be pinned at the top of YouTube. So then you can carry on. If anybody wants to come up, my picture don't seem very focused. Is that not that I'm a very pretty person anyway? But I mean, it don't seem very focused to me. But hey, there you go. Yeah. What I was saying, if you go to your YouTube, you can click the 3 dots beside it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it will pin it to the top of YouTube. So then,
from in here too, would I be able to pin it from?
No, not from StreamYard. No, you got to do it in YouTube.
Okay.
So you just click back into YouTube.
It was like talking over myself for a second here. Let me go back to that. And
you also must remember to turn your volume off in YouTube, otherwise you'll get an echo.
I think I did it.
I'll let you know. I'll just click back over into there. There you go. That's your StreamYard now, pinned to the top of YouTube. So if anybody comes into your lives now, they can click on that link and then come and say hello to you.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Les.
But don't let anybody up unless you see their face first.
Yeah. I'll see them down there, I guess the basement or whatever. Gotta make sure I see the face, or it might be a troll.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great. But
Catfish Bob said Pontoon Jody is learning to cook Jello. Yeah, a little challenge when it comes to cooking, I've heard.
Well, I expect you'd love to cook Jello.
Yeah. So if anybody else wants to pop up and join, probably going to be on no later than 8 o'clock because I've got kids to read to and homework to do. But if somebody else wants to pop up or just want to tell me what type of what soft baits. Let's do soft baits. What's your soft bait go-to for creek fishing? You can do soft crayfish, worms, yum, minnows. These little guys. Curious to what everybody thinks. What would you throw in your tackle box? Oh, you know what? I don't think I showed you these little guys. These little guys are these mouse tails. And Aiden Fife's not in my chat tonight, but he's a good friend. We fished we fish trout a lot together. But where's my camera here? So it's like this little head and this little tail. But what I do, I know it's just like basically a worm. I tear this thing off and I just throw it away. I don't use it. It's a little different size, but I'll rig this up. Yeah. Let me get a proper hook for that. Trying to find the right hook, because if I'm in a creek, I'm probably using like a J hook. Oh, we got Boxcar Jerry in the house. We want to add him to the stream.
What's up?
James Westgate, what's going on? James Westgate is an old school buddy. He's just popped in to say hi. Jerry is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Boxcar Jerry's trained.
Hello, Boxcar Jerry.
Hi,
I'm
Richard.
sorry, I was just dropping your links.
Thanks, buddy. How are you?
So,
Are you
was
a
on-
rail fanner? Is that what they call you, Jerry?
Yeah, I guess so.
sorry, mate. Yeah, I was just on YouTube dropping links. How you doing, buddy? You all right, mate?
Good. How are you? How's everybody
Oh, I'm fine, mate. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, great.
doing?
So nice. It's so nice to be here with him. It
You
really
were
Hold
is.
on. Maybe I got to change that.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Your
Is
big
that
screen
better?
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's for you.
Are you guys off?
No, we're still here. No, keep going. Do it
That's
again.
good, right? You can see all three of us?
Yeah.
You can still
Okay.
see us.
I couldn't hear Jerry.
I don't know.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Or maybe you couldn't hear me over
I'm just
Richard.
gonna,
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You,
My bad.
you can go the other way. Make yourself big.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm going to tie this here. Tie it and rig it. So as dumb as this looks, this little worm thing, Kevin catches like 90% of his fish on something like this. And then, if you're getting bites, but they're not taking it, you're just like,
Shorten it.
just
What
shorten
size
it. Like,
hook is that?
well, not sure what size this is. I would say it's like an 8 or a 6, like a trout size hook. You could go all the way up to maybe a 4, 6, or 8. They kind of go backwards on their sizes. So like 8 is smaller than the 4.
No weight
But
or
I'm telling
weight?
you,
Is there weight?
it depends. Like honestly, like I'll say being flexible and quickly flexible is key. So like if I've got this hook on and I'm casting regular worms and I'm out of worms, but I see a fish that's ready to eat, I'm not going to put a jig head on this. I'm going to throw it on here and I'm going to try to cast it. If it's not heavy enough to get where I need it, then I'm going to put one tiny split shot on it to get it there. And but if I have time and I'm sitting on the shoreline and I'm going to rig it up properly, I'm going to use like a trout magnet jig head with this setup
Yeah,
to
okay.
put it on that.
So I went to Cabela's yesterday. I bought a bunch of ultralight stuff.
Cool. Like
Yeah.
4-pound test stuff.
Yeah, like 4 2-pound, just mostly like jigs and little shads, like little Bobby Garland shads type things.
Nice.
Picked up a bunch of different stuff, some different weights. Where did Richard go?
Richard, if I kicked you off, I didn't even touch anything. I don't know.
Maybe he dropped off. I don't
Maybe he
know.
dropped off. If you want to come back, come back. I put the link at the top.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. So did you have a bad experience there or something? I saw something.
No, it wasn't like it's just there's so much. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a gun there once and it literally I was there for 8 hours waiting for them to run the background check
Oh yeah. So like you walked around. There's just so much stuff there that
with my infant.
like there's no organization to it, and it's just like you're looking and looking and looking, and it's just like I don't know. It overloads you. At least me.
Yeah.
I can't stand looking around for stuff, trying to
Yeah,
find
that's-
stuff, and you know.
Yeah, like when you were asking about the trade show, like as much as I like to go to those shows, is a whole lot like the Oaks Expo.
Yeah.
You got cool stuff, but it's too much stuff to look at.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's still shopping to me. And I would rather be fishing. I would rather be fishing with the wrong gear and
Yeah.
like altering it than getting all the right gear and not having the time to fish. Like I have the weekends
Right.
basically.
Yeah. That's the only time you have the fish. So
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem, Richard. Thanks for coming up. Aiden, I did not see the local trout derby date. I didn't really go looking for them yet. I know there's one in March. Let me look real quick because I do have 2 dates that the local fishing shop asked me to share. I forgot.
what's your local fishing shop?
I go to mom and pop place called Pearson's Plugs right in Green Lane.
Oh, okay.
He makes his own wood bass plugs on a wood lathe there.
Does he really?
Yeah, he makes his own spinners. That I call it a 75-pound king. That's my best salmon I've ever caught when guiding, and it was on one of his spinners. He handmade for me.
Wow.
So I kind of like that guy.
So he makes some big baits. Does he make little baits too?
Little bit. He's not doing the bait making stuff as much. I actually think he sold. I think he sold some of his like recipes, I guess you call it, with
Okay.
the way that they finish it with the chemical.
Okay.
So I don't think he likes the final product anymore. The wood's awesome. You know, you
Yeah.
just, I don't know.
Do they hold up?
Yeah. I mean, they get all eaten up. You know, I'll go find one. Sorry to leave. Let me grab one real quick. Let me show you.
You don't have to bother.
It's right in the other room. I want to.
All right. Yeah, I'm curious how they hold up. If they, because a lot of people do make them, but sometimes the paint doesn't hold up.
All right. So I might have lied. I think my son might have hung that one on a tree also, which is
So you
devastating.
lost it?
I'm telling you, man, it's like living with a klepto. Like the stuff just disappears so fast. Yeah. So he used to make for every guest that came up to our lodge or client or whatever you want to call them. I would have 2 plugs made for every single guest, one with their names on it. Basically, he'd personalize them, and I'd give one to the guest, and I'd keep one, and I'd hang it on the wall in my cabin. So, like, you know, by the time I came back here to have kids, I had like 60 of these lures on the wall, and I could go back and remember like every single person that had fished that I took out, you know, on the river. It's kind of a
So you
cool-
have all these. Do you have these still hanging up?
in Alaska, but I had a couple here, but
Oh, that's pretty
I
cool.
think Evan took them. Yeah, I'll
Could
get
you
them.
fish with them?
Yeah, they're mainly top water plugs. So they just, you know, they're this
Yeah.
big with like 2 or 3 trebles, depending on the size, and
Yeah.
prop baits. Some had prop on the front and the back, and then
Okay.
like a tail out the back too.
Right.
So pretty massive baits. And I actually hooked a muskie back in the 90s with one in Pennsylvania. I've caught lots of smallies and largemouth on them. Up there, I catch pike on them.
What do salmon feed on, like in lure wise?
In the river, they're not really eating, so they're striking out of like aggression, most of them. So for anything flashy, like big spoons, I use Dixie. But so it's more about, depending on the water you're fishing, you got to get the lure almost to the bottom, just up a couple inches so that it's in their face. And then like we basically back trolled, which means like you're sitting in the current with the boat, right? And you got the engine on so that you're basically holding steady, and then you can cast the lure out the back like a spinner, right?
Yeah.
And that spinner is basically spinning but holding in one position. And then you slowly, with the engine on, you ease off the gas a little bit so that you're drifting back down the river a little slow, so that the spinner is still spinning facing upstream, but moving backwards, like into the fish's face, if that makes sense.
So
So you're
like
back
you're-
rolling it. You're back in the
side-
bait right in its face.
are you like side trolling it?
Straight back.
Straight back. Okay.
I mean, 100-foot casts, and then
Right.
back trolling into these pockets. That was
Cool.
not the best way to catch. That was the best way to catch them. Not my favorite way, but if nothing else was working, we could always get a bite that way.
Yeah.
Richard said you didn't want to smoke and drink on your channel. Yeah, thank you for that. I don't know what YouTube would think of that, but
I don't think they think anything of it.
yeah, I know. I drink a lot of tea on here, Richard, in case you haven't noticed. I like to have tea.
So, what's your
Um,
favorite lure, like soft plastic for creek fishing? Worms?
I'm Ned Rig guy for the creeks because of the like. For me, with like, I'll do a worm more in like a lake where it's slow moving, but because that current's moving, the Ned Rig will drop it right down there and allow you to like do what you want it to do despite that current.
I
You
don't
know,
know what
if
it
you
gets,
use
but what's a Ned rig?
Ned Rig is you missed my demonstration, Jerry.
Yeah,
Um,
later.
that's the hook with the big lead weight on it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's basically like a jig head, right? Now let me get the and it's a rubber bait. It looks like a worm. This is what they look like.
Oh yeah, I think I saw it. Where you're fishing straight up and down.
Pretty much, but you cast them out and it's like you're jigging them like this.
Yeah, you're digging it up and down. Right.
Yeah, so you would hook it.
Kind of like a tube bait, right?
Yeah, basically kind of like a tube bait. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Aiden said Mentor Fishing Day is March 25th in Pennsylvania. That's right. That's like a week before opening day.
Yeah,
The kids get a free shot.
that's a free day. That's a free day for kids.
They're supposed to be right. It's free, yes.
Yeah,
They
it's
are
a free
supposed to
day
be
for
registered,
kids. Yeah.
but they're supposed to have a license, even though it's free. They sign up on this registration thing.
How old
I don't
is
know,
where does the license like start at? Like 10?
16.
16. So anybody 16 and younger, you don't need a license.
Correct. Yeah.
So your kids don't need them.
Nope.
Yeah.
But for that mentor day, they're supposed to have this mentor license. They're supposed to
really?
have this thing, which registers them with the state.
So
I don't
now
know
how
why.
does that work? Does someone 16 and under need a trout stamp? Or no?
No license is needed. But like I said, for
No
mentor
trout.
day, they need that registration. I think they want to keep track of how many kids are out there that day. I don't know what they're
Yeah, probably.
hoping to do.
How much is that?
It's totally free for the kids. It's totally free. It's just registering information.
Oh, so you
It's
don't
like
have
if you
to
go
pay
down to
for
Jersey
it.
Shore,
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
you have to register with the state to go in the ocean and fish, but it's free. You're just
Yeah.
letting them know who you are and what you're doing there, I guess. Aiden said the Wissahickon Creek and Stony Creek releases their dates. I think the Wiss is the 15th and 16th of April. Stony is the 29th and 30th of April. Stony Creek is still doing 15 and under. Yeah, a lot of these fishing derbies are going to be coming up, and man, they're fun. They're busy with people, and sometimes you don't catch. They're either like you catch so many fish, or you don't even catch as many fish as if you were to go by yourself.
Where's
But they're
Stony
just a
Creek?
lot of fun.
Where's Stony Creek?
Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Now, do you ever come down further, like Ridley Creek?
Little bit. Yeah. See, I don't know that we'll go down there. I don't know the areas that great.
Right.
And so when I get there, unless I got some intel on a good hole,
Yeah.
I don't travel
there's-
more than I have to.
there's a
Like
lot
right
of
now,
places you can go. Brandywine Creek. There's a lot of places you can go, but the creek,
I carry if necessary.
these creeks are like miles long. So
I do the ones I like in the city are like the Wiss and Pennypack. I do like those creeks, and I will go down there because it's as bad as the neighborhood is. Like as soon as you go down in the creek, it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful.
yeah, it's kind of different, right?
Yeah. Especially like Valley going through like what is that, Fairmount Park and stuff. It's pretty cool back there.
Cobb's
Rosalind Vlog, thanks for coming in.
Cobb's Creek might be a little different though. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever been there. Have you ever been there?
No, but I hear about them on the news a lot.
Yeah, it's
He's
not
pulling
good.
bodies out.
Yeah, it's not good. But there's fishing in there, so
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah, I can't wait to try my new rod out and try my new stuff out.
Yeah.
Probably
So
get a license soon.
Yeah, yeah, you might as well get it. I mean, it's only good for the year. Well, you can get a 2 year now.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are and how old you have to be. There are like permanent licenses too once you hit a certain age, where you can get like a
60. I
lifelong.
don't think I would
Is
be.
that? I have no idea. And there might be 5 year options now. I don't know.
Yeah, one's good.
Right. Figure out if you're going to go back and do it a couple times or not.
Well, I used to get them every year, but yeah, I just stopped fishing. Really, just didn't have no time.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. If you go out before opening day, which is April 1st, just watch where you fish. You can't technically or legally fish in a stream right now that's marked trouts, Pennsylvania state stocked trout. Those are closed because they're in the process of stocking them for opening day.
So I wonder how far, like how often they mark those. You know what I mean? Like, what do they rely on you to know that it's a trout stream, or are they marking the stream?
They're pretty well marked. They're marked heavily around the parking areas where you're probably going to park. So it's almost impossible for you to park somewhere and not see the signs. You're going to see them. And
Yeah,
that
but there's places that I would go fishing that there is no parking. Like like um there's no parking lots. There's no, it's there are creeks and streams that, are just meandering for miles and miles,
a lot of them you can't even access legally either because of like trespassing and stuff like that. You got to,
Yeah, I mean, it just depends where it is. Some
yeah.
spots are open and you can get to.
Yeah,
Some
I
spots
don't think they're
are
going to throw
along
the
the
book at
road.
you. You
No,
know,
but some spots are along the road, and there's like, you can park on the shoulder of the road, but there's no official
right.
parking lot to park in. Like
They know
if
the
you,
holes though. I mean, the game, like if you're out fishing a creek where there's no real hole, you might not see a sign or something, but the way the creeks are laid out, there's only so many good holes usually, and they will be marked because the commission knows pretty well where people go, and you can see like deer trails worn in by people walking in those spots.
right,
It's hard not to see the signs, but like if there's no sign there, I mean, they're semi lenient. I mean, I know I was fishing up the mountains this weekend and I had my license. They came down to check with me, and there was another guy literally had just pulled up, just came down, was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get my fishing rod and come down with you." And the game commissioner, the conservation officer, was like, "Okay, I want to see your tags." They thought we were all together. So the guy was like, "I don't have a license." And then like the game commissioner, the conservation guy thought he was with us. And like, he's not with us. Like, I don't know this guy. Get him out of here.
right.
But they were chatting like they were friends up in the parking lot. So I think they just let him go and told him where to go get the license at. So
Okay.
it's early in the year. That might change come April. If you're April and you don't have your license still,
Yeah.
and you're out catching trout that are stocked, they're probably going to be a little more.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, the way I understand it for years that I was told that even if you're not trout fishing and you're in a trout stream, you need a trout stand.
It'd be a good idea because if you're in a trout stream that's stocked, you're going to catch trout. Like it's
Yeah.
hard not to catch them. They push all the especially if it's like near stockings. Like
I guess. Yeah.
you're not going to catch a sunfish. It's so rare that you catch. Like I go to the Unami all the time, for example. Catch sunfish there all year long. Slower in the winter, but I catch them all year long. They stock trout. I won't catch a sunfish for over a month. I'll catch
Right.
nothing but trout.
You'll
Like
catch
you think you
some
catch the
trout.
occasional sunfish, almost never. They just, I don't know what they change their diet to, but you just don't catch them.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been out like intentionally trout fishing a few times, and I guess it was around the times that they were stocking them too, and that's why I caught them because usually
Yeah.
I don't ever catch them.
Yeah. Yes. For sunfish, if I'm trying to catch sunfish, like I'll use that little worm thing that I was showing you that wiggles around.
Yeah.
That's deadly on sunnies. Really a tiny little hook. And the trick with sunfish are just like tiny presentation, ultralight. and
Right.
getting the weight right so that it falls slow and doesn't
Right.
just drop right by, because it's got to look like something just falling through the water column.
Right.
Then they'll pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So can't wait. We'll see. All right, man. I'm gonna drop out. Let somebody else come in.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right.
coming up. Appreciate it.
Later. See ya.
See ya. Get back to chat here a little bit. I saw that conservation guy came around the parking lot. He didn't check us, but he looked pretty mad in that truck. Yeah, he didn't look like a happy guy. He was all right. He was giving us like a hard time about the tent for a while. I don't. Carp fishermen use tents all the time. Like, it's cold out. I got a 9-year-old kid. I'm using my tent. So Boxcar Jerry has like a train channel. If you guys are interested in, he goes out and records trains all over the place in this area. Pretty cool content. I enjoy watching this stuff. They're short videos, but he knows so much about trains, and he gets them like when they're switching directions on the rails and stuff. Some pretty cool stuff. Really interesting. I know got a few other train guys that come into this chat too, so I'll mention those. I know Dwight Curley. Dwight was in here earlier. He's got a train channel. Who else? Curly Express is Dwight's channel. I'm trying to think. I know he changed his channel name. It's his full name. Oh, Lark's Homestead. I totally missed them. Sorry, I missed you. I see you're in the chat. I don't know if you're still there or not, but I appreciate you coming in. Boilermaker Rec. That's his new channel name. He's another one that has a train channel. So yeah, 7:50. I think it came in early. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everybody coming in. If you guys have any tips for next Tuesday, just send them to me and we'll put them out there and we'll discuss them. If you're interested in coming up, I think the format we'll do is like the first 30 minutes. I'll probably try to stick to some topics or cover some information. And then after that, we will kind of open it up just to have a good time and chat and bring folks up. So if you're in the background, like Richard said, and you like our content, please think about subscribing, liking, sharing me out. We appreciate that. A lot of big trips we want to do and kind of limited to do that. And the channel definitely helps push us out there and get these things done. So appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. This weekend we're going out. I think we're going to stick a little bit local one day. We're trying to catch some catfish, maybe some fall fish, red breast sunfish. That's the goal, but who knows? We might be catching walleye. All right, Rick, have a good night. Catch you all later. See you guys.